What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. I'm really excited to get into this review for you. Let's do it. All right, guys, we have a new model from Concept here today. We are taking a look at the Hinterland. This is a premium offering from Concept, and honestly, I think this is one of my favorite models from them to date. I have a few from them that I really like. I really loved the Convict. I really enjoyed the Fenrir, and the Hinterland is definitely one of the tops, if not the top Concept to date that I've really come to enjoy. So you're looking at a premium knife here. So you have a black wash coated S35 VN blade. You have a thumb ramp deployment, which is very unique. They went with just the one side deployment, although I'm sure you could reverse this over if you're a lefty because it is bolstered, and I have found that I can manipulate the fuller here left-handed fairly easily. I don't think I'm putting a ton of pressure on that lock bar. No, I don't really think so. I think that's just the dexterity in the left hand because I don't do the deployment enough. Now it is right hand only. Maybe they'll do a lefty version. Concept tends to reach out to the community on their Facebook page and ask which version they want done each year for a lefty. So if you're interested in seeing a lefty Hinterland, definitely let them know. I am sure that they will do one. The ergos on here are excellent. Full four fingers with room to spare. I really do like the ergos. It's very comfortable. I'm not really noticing any hot spots holding the knife, and when using it, I didn't notice any hot spots either, especially because the titanium clip is chamfered down and the edges and everything are knocked down nicely here. So it was comfortable while using the knife to cut. It did come via the pass around group, so I did notice that the S35 VN had a couple of imperfections on the initial cut test through the paper, but nothing really super concerning to me, considering that this is a knife that came via the pass around. Now, when I moved over to cut cardboard, it was very good, had good bite still, very good blade geometry, so it moved through the material nicely. The black wash coating held up very good too, and this really steep clip point here drops the tip down to be level with the pivot, so you're able to get some really good draw cut positions, pinch grip position for draw cut on the cardboard and on the tabletop. So I was really pleased with that. I think that's always a bonus when you can pinch the knife and kind of get your pinch grips and your detailed work in there. And then it honed up and stropped up very nicely. It came to a razor sharp edge at the end. So very happy with the sample size performance that I'm able to do with these when they come in as a review sample. I also like the anodized work on here. I feel like they did a lower voltage on the polished hardware. I think that came out and looks very nicely against the higher voltage that they did on the thumb ramp and the titanium scales themselves. And then I really do like the way that the twilled carbon fiber with the contouring here looks against the titanium bolster. So very cool. They even give you a little bit extra here. Instead of it just being plain Jane, they gave you these triple cuts here that are very nice on both sides to match, and then they black washed the titanium pocket clip to match the actual blade. So I like all of that. I think that's some really good stuff. Now, Concept, if you're not familiar, they do racetracks for their bearings. So what they're doing is they're pocketing it out so that it's laying on the bearing itself without the balls on the outside or the scale side, and then the blade itself is the only thing that rides on the bearings. So the idea behind that is that you're able to really clamp it down and get that space really tight, but still get very smooth, buttery action. It's not a guillotine, but it is very good action nonetheless. The thumb ramp, as I mentioned, very well jimped, works very good, and I do enjoy using that a lot. I do kind of wish that they would have made the fuller a little bit sharper. I don't know if it's because they didn't intend for it to be reverse flicked, but it's a little hard, and that may be also the coating and the stone washing on there that knocked it down, but you really got to like muscle it if you want to use that fuller to reverse flick it. But again, thumb stud action, very good. Would have loved a little bit of a sharper edge so that you could use this fuller to reverse flick. As you can see, I do struggle with it. I'm sliding off of it. I think it would have been really cool if they would have just made it a little bit sharper. I think it would have been easier to use. Now, I do notice, I do notice that when I'm pushing on the scale, it seems to work better, or maybe it's just because I'm able to, or maybe there's a little bit of material left here and not here. Let me see. Yeah, it does look like there's, it looks a little bit sharper on this side, so maybe that's just manufacturing. A little imperfection. I think hitting it right there on that spot, I think, yeah. So I think there's a little bit more material here on the blade, so I'm able to get it a little bit more consistent right there. Yeah, so definitely noticing that might just happen to be this version. It might not be like that on all the other versions. Let's do some size comparisons and then we'll weigh the knife. All right, so here it is against the lightweights that I own, the Manix 2 on the bottom, which it's actually bigger than, and then the Para 3 lightweight on the top. So definitely a full-size knife. Let's do a couple more. Okay, here it is against the Kunwu Padre, which I would say it's very comparable to, and the Devo Knives Lush, which is more of your gent style knife, but a small knife for comparison. Let's close them up and see what they look like folded up. All right, closed up, you can see a little bit more slender, but similar length to the Padre for the Hinterland, and then the Manix 2 lightweight a little bit smaller and a little bit more profile for the height of it. And then with the slightly contoured scales on the Hinterland, it is coming in the same thickness as the Padre. And then as the Manix 2 lightweight, coming in a little bit thinner than the Hinterland. Let's grab the scale and check the weight out. All right, the scale is out and on. Let's check the weight on this full-size knife. Coming in at 4.4 ounces. Not really that bad considering the size of this knife. It does compare to like a Shaman, and a full Shaman coming in, I think, at 5.2 usually on the average. So it is coming in lower weight than that. What about my score on this? Well, what goes into the score is materials, fit, finish, and performance of the knife, and then how I perceive all of that to tie together. So these are just scores that I assign based on those factors. So again, I wish that they had a little bit of a sharper fuller on here so that I could more easily reverse flick. Having said that, when I remember where to place the finger and I adjust the position of my hand, and like I'm not coming in at an angle, I'm able to kind of go more directly into it. In my more natural position, I'm able to more easily reverse flick it. Having said that, I do like these thumb ramps. It is, fun to have something a little bit different than just a thumb stud on here. But I think a thumb stud would have worked just as well, if I'm being totally honest. And I'm wondering, based off the size of this, if you could just get yourself a set of bug out thumb studs, anodize those that same color blue as the rest of this hardware, and throw them on here. I think or you could probably buy them already anodized. I think they would probably work just as well, and then you could easily reverse flick off of that. Love the clean profile. I think this is just a gorgeous design overall. I really like it. Nice clip point blade, very thin geometry. I am still a big fan of S35 yen. The titanium bolsters with the blacked out hardware, and then the anodized matching hardware on top of the black twilled carbon fiber with the contouring, giving it a very nice look. And then I do like the titanium pocket clip. The race washers, I know in theory they allow you to really clamp down on the knife, but I have found that, I've never experienced a bearing knife where I've had an issue where I couldn't tighten it down to get rid of the play and still have really good action. Having said that, this does have very nice action, seems to be breaking in the longer I have it here too. Good ergos, very comfortable to hold and to use. And again, I really like this design and the materials here, and the price point of this is coming in starting at around 200 bucks. Linked below if you're interested in this or any other concept. Those links do help the channel when you decide to use them. So score, no more procrastinating here, guys. I am thinking I am landing at a 7.8. Very high score for this type of knife, and I really like the design of it. I think that is a very fair score, very representative, because I, overall really like this knife. I think the sharper edge on here would have really pushed it up for me if I'd have been able to consistently reverse flick it. I'm able to get a full grip, which I really do appreciate having the larger hands. I know that's going to make it a little bit big for some folks, but again, it's nice to have variety where we also get a chance to have a good looking knife that is in a size that we're able to really truly enjoy. Again, Kansept does a good job with the fit and finish and performance and offering for the money. Just a really solid knife. They did a really good job with this one, and I really do like it. They also have a ton of variants out there that you can pick from in case you really don't want the black wash. So just for example, I had these pulled up to the side so I could check them out. They have a green micarta with the black bolster. That one actually starts at $184.89. So the micarta helps bring the price down a little bit, and then instead of anodizing, it's a coated aluminum coated titanium handle, and then you're getting all the black washed finishes on there. And then they have some lightning anode, and they have some copper carbon fiber out there as well, depending on your preferences. And I do appreciate that about Kansept. They do offer a variety of fits and finishes to kind of appease to those that may not like just one single type of variant, or different onlay materials too, so that you're not just picking from whether it's coated or uncoated, or if it's anodized blue or black, coated black for the titanium. So I like that. I think it's really nice that they can do that, and all of that at a very fair price. Some alternative recommendations. It's going to be the Kaiser Militao here. I think for this one is going to be an excellent alternative, because that one is very competitive with S45N and a diamond coated blade. Now, some could argue the fit and finish on the Kansept is going to be a little bit better, and I could probably see that in some instances, but it's so close that I really wouldn't be able to tell. I will say the black coating on my particular Militao hasn't really held up fantastic. It has snailed very easily, so I wish that they had a little bit better coating. I had a Shikari on here recently, and the coating that they did on their aluminum, I don't know if it makes a difference, the different material, but the coating felt better on the Kansept. And I will say I think Kaiser actually does a better black wash, but on the $200+ version of the Militao, when it's not on sale, you're getting a true DLC diamond hard texturing that is very scratch resistant, and again, you're getting S45VN. You also could take a look at the Vosteed Psyop, which I think with the LMAX and the top liner lock is a very compelling alternative for this as well. Having said that, this is an easy recommendation. I think it's my favorite, even over the Fenrir and the Convict. I think this is my favorite from Kansept so far. I really do like this aesthetically and the offering, and it's a great price point that they're offering it, starting at $185 basically for uncoated and micarta. Let me know what you think about the Hinterland down in the comments below. Again, those links down there help when you use them. If you enjoyed the content, consider leaving a like on the way out. I'd appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I hope all of you have a fantastic week. I love you all, and I hope you have a great day. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.